Let's welcome in ESPN boxing analyst Andre Ward. Andre, you saw in the piece before the idea of these fights in the previous century, these great fights that brought heavyweight division into the collective sports consciousness. What is the potential for this fight, this rematch, to do that once again and to bring heavyweight boxing to the forefront of the sporting world?
Well, I think the heavyweight division is back in the forefront and has been in the forefront of the world for the last couple years. I mean, you had the Vladimir Klitschko era for over a decade where most of the heavyweight championship belts were in Europe and his style wasn't really what American fans wanted to see. But we don't have that problem now. We have an American heavyweight champion in Deontay Wilder who has dynamite in both hands, and Tyson Fury, who's from the UK, rattled that cage back in December of 2008 and said, if he's the baddest man on the planet, I want to face him. They put on a great fight. It was a draw, and that's why we're talking about the second fight that's going to happen in just over a week. This has the potential to be one of the all-time great heavyweight fights.
You know, just in agreeing to this rematch, what do you see in these two fighters that you don't often see these days in fighters?
Well, it's not what I see in the ring. It's the intangible. It's the desire and the willingness to step to the plate. In 2020, we don't see a lot of fighters rattling cages of the other best men in their division. We see a lot of talk. We see a lot of guys sidestepping challenges. These guys didn't do that. These guys carry the spirit of the guys who had gone before them. The George Foremans, the Muhammad Alis, the Lennox Lewises, the Mike Tysons. Those are the guys that laid the foundation that Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder now walk on. They carry that same spirit, that same willingness to risk it all to prove that they are the baddest, one of the baddest men on the planet.
So in that way, they're throwbacks to a previous era. So when you look at these two, when you think about the great fights of the past, give us a sense from your perspective what you see this fight as being like. What great competition between fighters you could almost compare this to?
Well, first, they don't want to give an inch. They don't want to give an inch in the promotional build-up. They don't want to give an inch on social media. That tells you about that spirit that I just told you about. But as far as stylistically, this is truly a pick'em fight. That's how you know you have a mega fight that you need to tune into and that you don't want to miss, because you can't really say who has the advantage. It's all about who executes their game plan on the night of the fight when the lights are the brightest. And here's a little caveat. We know that Deontay Wilder's a power puncher. He's only had one fight go the distance throughout his career. Tyson Fury is known as a boxer. He's a guy who likes to hit and not get hit. But he's saying that that's not going to be the case in this rematch. He said, I'm coming in at 270 pounds. I can't dance all night being 270. I'm going to push Deontay Wilder back. I'm going to make a fight out of it. And shades of Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler. So this fight won't go the distance. I don't think it'll go past 6 rounds. It's going to be whoever catches the other person first and whoever executes the game plan the best. Okay,
now I want to get your opinion on this. We're getting it early. Who do you see as winning this fight and why?
Again, I know I'm tap dancing a little bit.
Uh-oh, don't do it.
I'm trying not to. I've been mulling over this. I've been studying. I've been going back and forth. I don't have a pick. This is truly a fight where you lay out the pros and cons. The pros for Deontay Wilder, he has dynamite in his right hand. He has a gift, power that you really don't see from a guy who's built the way that he's built. Skinny legs, kind of wiry upper body frame, but he has power. If he grazes you or touches you anywhere on your chin or your head, you're going to have problems. If he can get that punch through, it's going to be a good night for Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury, there's a little bit more nuance with him because initially we would think he would box like he did the first time, right? He's telling us, again, that's not going to be the case. I'm going to press Deontay Wilder, and I'm going to push him back. Either it's going to be me or it's going to get him. So how can you pick a winner when you got two guys like that? A power puncher, a guy who's normally a boxer who says he's going to fight. I just can't wait until the fight starts.
Okay, neither can we. And by the way, if you want to see Fury Wilder, check it out live on pay-per-view. February 22nd, 9 p.m. Eastern. You get it on ESPN+. Andre, thank you.
Anytime.